Hi, this is Swapnil Bhartia and welcome to another episode of TFR Insights. And today we have with us once again Haim Helman, CTO and co-founder of Octarine. Haim, welcome to the show once again. Kubernetes 1.18 has been released. So I'm curious about, from your perspective or Octarine's perspective, what are some of the major new features that you are excited about?
Obviously, in this release, we see a lot of things, like in most previous releases that were pushed from the previous release. So 1.17 was a release that was attached to KubeCon at the end of the year, a lot of things to get done. And then many new features get pushed to the next release. That happens often. So there are a lot of things that we were already expecting before, but we got in this release. And the things I'm excited about have to do with multiple facets of Kubernetes. One is the topology manager, which is a feature that was introduced in alpha before and has moved to beta in this release. Topology Manager is a really interesting use case, the high performance, low latency use case coming to Kubernetes, being able to associate placement of workloads, not just on a CPU, certain CPU or a certain device, but actually combining placement of workloads into CPU and devices to get the best latency for those high performance workloads, financial applications, machine learning, things that require very, very low latencies. Another interesting point of emphasis in this release is Windows support. So running Kubernetes on Windows nodes has been evolving over the last year. And in this release, we see major improvements in the support of both the runtime, containerd in the case of Windows, and storage. So the CSI proxy that allows unprivileged workloads and unvetted workloads from accessing or performing storage operations on Windows hosts. So a lot of smaller Windows-related features that are either in alpha or beta in this release. Also, an emphasis on storage. So the CSI support for block storage is something that has been in the works for a while now. And obviously in our area, the security field, so we've seen many of the features that Kubernetes supports, like service account tokens and signature or certificate signing being used outside of the cluster. So both the improvements on the certificate signing request process and the ability to validate service account tokens from outside of the cluster with an OIDC, the OpenID Connect Discovery API, are very interesting as a way to demonstrate how Kubernetes capabilities are used more than just for the basic functionality of Kubernetes itself. And the last one is the debug functionality. So kubectl debug is a new command that takes advantage of ephemeral containers in order to make debugging more user-friendly in Kubernetes.
And if you look at all these features and new capabilities, which is the one that you are most excited about? I'm like asking you to pick your favorite baby, which is hard, but still.
As someone who's spent quite a lot of time debugging applications in Kubernetes, as well as working with our team on many cases of debugging workloads in our environment, in customer environments, and the idea of the kubectl debug and the potential of using ephemeral containers to debug running containers without making any changes to the containers themselves, and with an easy to use user experience is very exciting for me. I think this shows a certain level of maturity in Kubernetes. We're moving from not just being able to run and deploy applications, but really thinking about the entire workflow. Obviously, debugging is a major part of the life cycle of developing and running applications in multiple stages. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's just the beginning. This is an alpha feature, but I think it has a lot of potential. There's a lot of places where it can go to make that developer experience better for developers in Kubernetes.
True, very true. Now, we talked about all the good things. Now, what are the features or capabilities that did not make it to this release that you think that, hey, it should have been there? Can you talk about that?
So we talked about that before, the sidecar lifecycle management feature, being able to start and end sidecar containers in an organized and first-class citizen type fashion in Kubernetes is something we've been waiting for a long time. I know the entire service mesh community has been waiting for. It was supposed to make it into 1.18. Unfortunately, it didn't, and we are very, very excited to see it coming in 1.19.
Haim, thank you once again for taking time out and talking about Kubernetes 1.18. And I'm looking forward to Kubernetes 1.19, and we hope that Sidecar will make its way into there. Thank you.